Is that gonna work? Hey, there we go. Okay, well, I'm hoping that the chat comes through over there, and everything's working just fine. Anyway, I am building catalog today. As always, it seems like the story of my life. Give you a little update. Just so you know, I will be bouncing in and out as let's fix this camera right here first and get it going. Hey Don, how are you doing? So anyway, if I jump on while I'm sitting here adding lists or adding items to our catalog this week and give somewhat of an update. Kat and Izzy are not here right now. They are at home taking a little break. Well, I'm sure they're at it at the house. I know Kat was going to do some stuff around the house and possibly do some additions to the catalog while they are there. It's getting a little warm here, so I'm just going to take off my shirt. If I bust any buttons with all this, all those muscles that I have, then I do apologize in advance. But anyway, we are looking to move locations for our auction house. That's probably the newest news. We are actually looking at not only doing... That's going to continually try to autofocus, isn't it? Let me try to adjust that. I'm just going to turn that autofocus on, or turn it off, I should say. Properties and configure video, camera control. I'll walk you through this as I'm doing it. Okay, that should work. Hopefully that does. That takes care of all that constant eye movement there. Okay. I was just about to take a nap, but you're going to be listening. But don't worry. It's not you, it's me. Hey, John. You're funny, John. Anyway, as many of you know, we've been in this spot since January, the current location, and it has been tight. I mean, we've been running, let's just say 350 items. That's been our goal for the longest time. The two of us doing the auction, 350 items a week. That's what we've been moving, and we've been just like stacked on top of each other, because basically what happens, we have the front showroom and we have consigners bring items in, and then typically we just have, okay, this little spot in the floor is yours, put your consignment check-in sheet in, and on top of it I'll keep it straight, which I've been doing pretty good with. Well, on top of that, we have customers don't pick up in a timely manner, and constant movement of people coming in, previewing items. I can't even get those cards out. And the customers that do pick up their items. So we really have been pretty tight as far as space. Yes, it's almost been a year. Actually, our first auction was, I think we launched it on the first or second week of January. But we were here getting ready at the end of December. So anyway, we're only going to move 2 doors down. Well, it's actually the next building over. Nobody knows it's there. It kind of sits back off, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 feet off the road, maybe a little bit farther than that. It does have 20 storage units, so we're going to be going into the storage renting business. And if they don't pay their rent on storage, we know an awesome auction house where they'd be happy to auction their items off for them. So we're going to be doing that. It's 2 stories, so we're actually going to try to rent out some office space up top, and just utilize the whole bottom floor for our auction house, for our auction, as well as doing a little bit of retail as far as some of the used items that we sell. Um, and we have some other ideas coming as well. More on that later. So that's where we are. And I don't know. It's going to be an adventure. Right now, it's still two of us running the business. We have to hire someone soon. It's just getting to the point where it's just getting too much. You know, we can manage it okay during the winter time, but as soon as summer kicks off, and we really have to get on the ice cream business to make sure we have enough drivers this year. So you're going to see me bouncing in and out. Your family is so industrious. You know what? I wouldn't say that. We just put ourselves in quite the bind. We're trying to make it work. You know, I quit my full-time job in June, and it has the auction house has been sustaining itself, and that's about it. Um, they're not lazy, I don't think. I think they're just slow moving. But so you know, we knew we needed to move into a bigger location. This is a huge jump. It's more than double our lease, our monthly rent right now. But there's lots of income potential there as well. So that's kind of what we're looking forward to. I'm still, you know, I started getting back into selling more on eBay as well, and even when I was on my job, I've been hard workers. Well, you know, like I said, keeping busy keeps me out of jail. So you're going to see, you know, it's never too exciting when I jump online. It's more exciting when Kat's here, but I'm going to be bouncing back and forth because I got stock out there I have to bring in and photograph, and I'll be taking this stuff and putting it out on the shelves. Right now, we're shooting for, just to kind of give you an idea for the people that do list on eBay. You know, when I was doing a full-time job, I really tried to do anywhere from 5 to 10 items a day. And here at the auction house, it's essentially the same process minus the shipping information. We usually tackle that on the back end after the item's sold to someone outside the area. But the listing process is pretty much the same. We're doing it on our phones, and we're shooting for anywhere between 75 and 100 listings a day. That way it gives us some leeway on days we might have stuff going on where we're not able to hit that. So that's our goal. We've really been hitting. I would say we're hitting 75 between the two of us, and yeah, that's it. So I could use you, brother. Just like he looks just like you. I don't know if I know who Cliff Boondock is. That must mean I need to get a haircut. So we're running a lot of different items. Like right now, well, I just listed probably 10 lots of old vintage. Am I still on? Oh, it's just saying my video resolution isn't optimal, but I can deal with that. Pro set. I just got done listing. I think it was actually 5 or 6 sets of Little People, Fisher Price Little People sets. Now I'm moving on to baseball cards, and I got a whole slew of other stuff that I have to get going as well. So you're going to be seeing me when I do these live streams. They're actually me doing work. It's not overly exciting, like I said, but hopefully you might see some ideas of things that we're selling. A lot of things that we're doing, we're sourcing to resellers. We have a lot of resellers that buy at auction because the price is usually right, where there's plenty of profit still to be made. The only thing I do recommend is you always have to keep in mind shipping when you're purchasing things, especially if you're doing online auctions. Here in the Northwest, it can be pricey to ship anywhere. Do you have any more? Don, I do, and I have some coming to you if you would just, you know, you shouldn't be asking for things this close to the holidays. That's all I'm going to say. I I do have some still on my eBay store, but I have a few that I'm going to send you just because I like you. Um, and they're probably going to be all the ones you don't like, but hey, just pretend like you do. So many of you think that it's crazy to be selling sports cards. Right now, I am doing what are these? These are 1990 Pro Set, all football. It's a huge stack of them. I buy these things pennies on the dollar. With me, it's a quick flip. That's the way the auction goes. The things that I do want to hold on for a little bit and maximize my profits on, I'm going to be putting on that shelf over there, which is my eBay sale. Um, and you know that I've been doing a little bit more in glassware, so there I've been doing some pretty good money on glass. Believe it or not, I used to kind of steer away from it, but I've kind of gotten past that. I've had items break, of course, but it's not as often. Okay, I won't do it, Don. Merry Christmas, 1990 Pro Set Football. So what is some of the things I have to? I mean, I have to tell you. I mean, it's everything that I buy is typically well. I do hit estate sales when it's in season. Up here in North Idaho, the seasons end a little bit sooner because of the weather. But so I do source a ton from auctions. I go to live auctions all the time, and just if you haven't even tried it, it's willing to give a shot just to make a few, just to give you another avenue for sourcing. I think you'd be surprised once you got used to it. There's a lot more profit to be made in attaining or in going to auctions versus going to thrift stores or even estate sales, just because of the time involved. I mean, of course, every Friday night I go to auction, I'm spending anywhere from, I would say I get there probably around 5 o'clock and I'm there till 9. So, 4 or 5 hours a week I'm sourcing at auction. But, I find it fun. That's my downtime. And at the same time, I'm buying items and making profit off of it. So it is definitely, uh, there is definitely money to be made there. And what I'm doing is I'm buying bulk items. So I'm the guy that stands and waits for everybody else to get their pick. Those are typically the collectors or people that just want that item. They might find interest in it. And I let them go through and get all their picks. And when it gets down to a certain price, I end up buying, they auction off the entire table. So I go in and buy the entire table or what's left in what I call table ends. So one thing I do when I'm list the difference between cataloging for our auction house versus eBay, there's certain things like I'm not going to go through here and count every single card. I'm not going to. I try to show what the sets look like. Pull out a few cards. I'll go through here. They're all pro sets, so I'm sure there's duplicates in here. And then that's it. That's a box of cards. And someone's just going to love it. I don't go through these. Now, something like this is typically going to be pretty expensive to ship just because of weight. Anytime you get into paper stock, it's going to be pricey to send. Now, something I did notice is, let me go back. I like to keep everything anybody has ever sent me. For the record, some people feel okay selling gifts, but I can't fathom that. So with your auctions, do you also do them online for the auction house, not eBay? Every single one of these items that I'm doing is online for our auction house. For those of you that aren't aware what we do, I'll go ahead and put the link in just so you don't have to register anything, just to browse the catalog. And I'll get an actual link to the catalog so you can have somewhat of an idea. Kind of give you an idea as to what we're running on a weekly basis. It's a wide array of items that we're listing. Our auctions they launch on Friday evenings and they close on Wednesday starting at 6 p.m. And hopefully that works there. That should take you directly to our active catalog. Everything starts on our auction at $2. And we hope that it goes up from there, but there's a lot of deals that are to be made. So, you know, this box here may very well go for $2, but I paid $16 for a table that had a whole bunch of cards on it. Trading cards confusing. You know what? I don't even know anything about these. The only reason I don't recommend, unless you know sports cards, I don't recommend that you buy them and resell them. The only reason I can through our auction, and I'll just total disclaimer, is like I said, I bought these on a table that had probably 30, 40 different boxes at least, along with a few other things. And I know that I'll get I'll probably get $2 to $8 for this box, which, you know, when you're saying $2 to $8, that's not a lot of money. But this stuff's gone in a week. I put that same table, I'll put on our auction, broken out into individual boxes. And if I'm making, let's just say, an average of $5 a box, and I get 20 lots out of that table, let's just say, that's $100 that I made for the store. And I only had, I think this particular table, like I said, I had $16 in. So it's not that I know a ton about cards. I know absolutely nothing. I used to collect them, but it's because it's quick. It's a quick turnaround. That's why I can afford to buy them and sell them for that cheap, because I'm getting them dirt cheap, and I'm breaking up those huge lots into smaller lots to maximize profit. So I did good. Yeah, I don't recommend someone that's, especially if we're just reselling on eBay, I don't recommend buying sports cards. Outside of, I mean, if you can get something, you know, pre-80s, I think mid to late 80s all the way into 2000 is when they really mass-produce sports cards. So unless you're going after the chasers, I wouldn't even worry about it. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I mean, you'll see things that I'll run through. I should do some more haul videos. The problem with me doing haul videos is I buy an entire truckload of stuff. I take my little Ford truck. Sometimes I've even had to take my box truck and haul it back to auction so that I can pick up everything that I purchase. And I'm spending probably, as long as I'm not buying, well, this last week I spent, I think it was $370 total, but I also had 9 Morgan and Peace dollars that I got at a good price. So, you know, that was, you know, not, it was probably half that was in silver. Or if I'm buying firearms, they'll typically take my bill up considerably. But we've been running vintage holiday stuff for the last 2 months. We started our first Christmas auction in October. We ran one in November, and we've been mixing some of it into our current auctions, but we're pretty much not taking any more Christmas stuff for the rest of the year, just because it's, you know, it's after, we're already into December. Most people have already gotten their decorations up and running. So we'll still be sprinkling a little bit of that into the auction, but primarily for us. And people, even back in October, people were saying, can we get through Halloween first? Well, with us, we're sourcing to a lot of resellers. So if you figure someone that's reselling items, they are getting ready for Christmas early in November, at least. We had to start selling, knowing that we were going to source to them in October. So that now that everybody's pretty much got everything decorated and stuff. We're running lights and some stuff that you can still use to the holidays that you might not have picked up last minute stuff. But yeah, holiday season is almost pretty much done for us. Okay, so I will be right back. I'm going to take these out to the floor and I will bring something else in. That way you're not staring at cards the whole time. I lied. You are seeing more card stuff or sports related stuff. Um, most of these are just going to be magazines. But because it's me, okay, I'm not decorating this year, but I'm always on the hunt for all vintage holiday crap for my hoard. Yeah, I'm sick in the head of 9 tubs of vintage Christmas. I was so surprised last week we ran some old, the old cardboard decorations. I would say they're probably from as far back as the 70s at least, maybe even the 60s. But they usually have like a little metal ring that you can hang from the ceiling, or tape them to the wall. I had probably 8 of those in a lot, and nobody would give me $2 for them. I relisted them for this next auction. Like somebody must have missed that because somebody had to have wanted. Look at that. There was somebody collecting sports magazines or the old Beckett guides. I'm throwing some baseball cards in there too. Look at that. What are those? Those are 86. Holographic cards. Man, I bet people were going crazy over those back in the day. And because you're talking about a mess, this is the way we do it. There might be something, you kind of have to mix stuff that might have value to stuff that may have value, just to lot all of it up. That might be what they're called. I can't. So these are sports books, Beckett guides. You never know what I'm going to bring across here. We do a lot of glass. I've learned more about glass stuff over the last year. That I just sold some. What was it? Villeroy and something or other glass. I knew that it was going to be worth something when I saw it on the auction table. I actually paid up, and I paid $55 for this set of dishes, and I ended up selling 4 dinner plates alone. I sold for close to $100. I let some salad plates, I think, go down to $65 for 4 of them. I mean, that entire lot, my gross was right at $300, I think. But if you guys aren't looking at glassware either, take a look at it. There's some things I know that just doesn't have a ton of value, but I have buyers that buy it, so I'll go ahead if I see it on the table. Stupid fly. Some of that might be, Vaseline glass. It's pretty collectible. You're not going to make $1 million off of it, but it does sell pretty well. Of course, everybody knows Pyrex, colored Pyrex dishes. The older the better, but condition also plays into that. Fire King, there's a lot of money to be made in Fire King. Again, you're looking at stuff that is colorful, all the colorful patterns, and even the ones just look for colors in general. Anything that kind of fits in that mid-century modern motif. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. So we are looking forward to moving. I've been dying to get out of this space for quite some time. I just don't get along. I'm allocated for a business. Me being allocated to 2 parking spots when I have people coming in and out throughout the week. It becomes a pain, and I have people parking in my spots. I have to go yell at old people because we have a senior center right down the way. I figure I hit 50. It's okay for me to yell at old people because I'm feeling like I'm pretty old myself. Beckett Guides and more. You can see I get it's crazy up in here. I don't have any fancy lights in here. I do have one LED light here. We don't even use lights over here. It's just a different. I can typically make it work with adjusting contrast, brightness, mostly just brightness. So some auction houses will just take and lay a stack of books out, and you're pretty much it's pretty much a crapshoot what you're going to get. I at least try to, they just put a stack there and say, okay, here's some Beckett Guides. I at least try to show people, if I'm going to sit a stack of books out there, at least show them the covers of each one. And I'm not doing close-ups just because when your starting bid is $2 for every item, you have to anticipate that item is going to only get $2. So you have to kind of balance that your time out. Okay, is it worth me taking a picture of each and every single item, or do we just, let's let the person bidding on the items, let's put some of that back on them and let them utilize Zoom in when they're browsing the catalog. It's definitely 100% different from eBay. But well, I mean, there are differences in doing this versus eBay. Let me put it that way instead. And I think some people look and they like that thought of finding that diamond in a rough that maybe me as an auction house may have missed. Most things that I list, I do know the value of, but I don't sit there and take everything that has value, especially, a lot of stuff is brought in on consignment. So it's not like I can just pull that aside and say, hey, I want this to resell for my own. But it's not like even the stuff that I buy, I don't go through and cherry pick everything out of everything I buy. It's not to say I don't purchase things specifically to sell on eBay. It's that I don't withhold valuable items from our auction catalog. Sports Flicks Triple Action. These I'll take pictures of because it's hard to. Somebody buy this just because they think, well, those cards are at least worth. Oh, look at that. Is that Ozzie? I think that is Ozzie Smith there back when he was playing for the Cardinals. So some things I have been experimenting with on eBay outside of the glass. I've been trying some more paper stuff. You know, I ended up finding a bunch of QSL cards. They're like radio. Back in the day when people were really big into ham radios, they may still be, but they would send cards out to people they talked to. I'm just assuming over the airwaves, and just for, and they're all personalized with their, maybe might have design on it or whatever, and basically so that the person on the other end could bring back, you know, what the signal strength was, where they were located, and it was part of the hobby. Hey BCP, I just one of my impromptu live streams. Again, I've been telling everybody it's just me working, but it kind of keeps me sane some days, so I'm not sitting here by myself and talking and talking to myself. It's nothing fancy, nothing scripted. Excuse the noise there. This is going to be, I mean, there's all kinds of good stuff. That looks like, what's that little mouse's name? 2002, dang, I can't remember the movie. Some of the stuff, I mean, it's not anything like major. I will put, like, there's some Sesame Street stuff there, some things that I think someone's just going to want to have. There's even some Duplo blocks pieces. I just kind of spread these out. Those little bears. Whether these are going to go to a collector or somebody that resells, because there is a market for some of these old toys. Thank you for being kind, BCP. Look, there's Dora the Explorer. I just saw the movie recently. I took my wife and I took my 11-year-old. Is she 12 now? I may be totally wrong, but went to go see that. I wasn't sure about it being, you know, an animated film that was made into a live action film, but it was pretty good, I have to admit. All my daughters grew up with Dora the Explorer, and yeah, it's not like I was the one that was watching Dora all the time. Actually, I think that went to a there's some little USA Olympic 1995 Cabbage Patch Kid thing. Oh, let's put the cat driving the tractor. I always like looking at the dates on some of these. This is actually from a more recent. Well, I mean, I say recent. Oh, he works too. Little bath toys. I think some of this stuff might have went to some of that Little People stuff, but I just didn't know. I could put the dinosaur in the high chair, but... So yeah, we even sell toys. I mean, we try to bulk things up. I mean, do I think there's a ton of value in this? To somebody, yes. Looks like Bob the Builder sitting there on the... There is value in this. There's people that collect each and every type of piece in here. So we, as an auction house, if I get a ton of this, I put it in a huge lot instead of selling it individually and let somebody else pick through it. And I used to go through all the toys when I used to go to thrift stores. I always look for the old 80s rubber fish and dinosaurs, and I know my daughter sold it was like from '87, I think. It was a shark, solid rubber shark from made in Japan. I think she got 35 for it. I'll get something else here in a minute. I just like cleaning up some of the stuff I have just sitting random. I need to get all this. I have so much stuff. It gets to the point where we sit here and I'll take a couple more pictures. Um, there's value in it, but nobody bought it the first time you run it at auction, and you hate to send it to Goodwill or donate to a local charity yet, so it just piles up, and then it gets to this point where the pile is so freaking large that you have no choice. And then you also have you have to worry about time as well. It takes time to load up a truckload of stuff to go to donate. We send a lot of stuff to donation. We're entertaining the idea of running like a little retail section on stuff. We want to do something with the charity. I think the charity that I want to do is the Wounded Warriors program. I've supported it in the past. So I think because we have a lot of customers say just donate your stuff, and I need to find a cause to donate it instead of just hauling it off to Goodwill. Or I typically don't go do Goodwill, but there's other charities in the area that I know that the funds go local. Hey Jennifer, thanks for watching. For the folks that are new, I have been reselling online for quite a few years now, primarily eBay. I did just a little bit of a history since you did say you're new, whether you wanted to hear it or not. No, I started selling on Amazon, moved over to eBay. I did Posh, Etsy. I played the rounds. Since back in January of this last year, we opened up our auction house, and we do online auctions that run from Friday night to Wednesday. And basically, I took my shop of 550 items, I pulled them all down from eBay, and I started our first auction. And I had enough items that I was able to source our first 2 online auctions. And we've been running weekly auctions since. We list right at 350 items a week. So if you, and I don't know if you resell or not, but if you're listing on eBay, the process, as you're seeing, it's real similar. I'm writing name, I'm writing description. The only part that I don't have to enter is shipping information. We assign it a sale order so that we can kind of control how items fall or are grouped within our catalog, and that's what I do now. I have since started doing eBay again. We're in a pretty small building here, but I'll probably never stop selling on eBay because I do enjoy it so much. But there's just some items that I buy that would do a lot better on eBay because there's just not a local market on it. I primarily source from live auctions. I do hit estate sales. I hit garage sales, estate sales during the summertime, live auction throughout the year. I did Etsy for a little bit, but there's certain things, everybody does their own niche, and it's really what they enjoy. I've tried to sell everything just so that I could gain as much experience as I possibly can. My whole thing with people selling, don't sell something just because somebody else told you to. Go out and experiment on your own. I just found, me personally, there's a couple things that I'm not huge on, and that's that's jewelry and clothing. It's just not my game. I enjoy vintage, antique stuff, and that's about where I'm at. I've changed my strategy too a little bit. I do have a few items that are less, but because I can filter a lot of stuff through the auction house. My eBay store, I I like to have things listed over $30 sale price, and that's really so and that's really so that I can have room to lower the price and not bring it down below 20. If it's below 20, I'll throw a couple of those items through my auction, and at that point, because of the way I buy, typically I've already made my money off because I buy things in bulk, and so that's what I do, and that's what I'm doing right now. Sometimes these live streams, you're just seeing me do my normal day-to-day work. Nothing overly exciting. It's a little bit more exciting when my wife is here. That way you can watch her razz on me and tell me how much of a loser I am. I purely kid. She will oftentimes call me an idiot, but it's out of love. At least that's what I like to think. Now look at this cute little thing. It is an old pillowcase. It's filthy, but it's still a little embroidery thing. Little dog's up in a... These are going to be doll clothes. They're probably just going to be thrown in a lot. I'll just lay them out here a little bit. Somebody had a price tag of $1.50 on that item. Some of these could almost be considered children's clothing as well. This stuff I'm just going to throw out. But yeah, we're enjoying it. We are hitting a year. We're right at a year right now. We're getting ready. We're hoping to sign a lease this next week to move into a larger location. Crossing my fingers, hoping that nothing gets in the way of that, because I have been itching to get out of here for quite some time. Yes, definitely. Jewelry is definitely easier to store. A lot of jewelry, paper, what else? Video games, they're pretty easy to store. What I found out, just because I could never find the time. First of all, okay, if let's just be honest, my biggest issues I had with jewelry was when I had precious metals, and I have completely, I have terrible eyes, let's just say that. And when I would test something for gold, I couldn't necessarily catch what, that little tinge of silver underneath gold plate, so it would test good for gold, but people aren't going to know what the heck's in this box here. So it got me. I ended up having a few returns, which I don't mind returns at all, because especially if it's my issue, it's my issue. I'm going to end up just throwing all this stuff back in a box. I don't even know what the heck that is. Look at that. It's gobs and gobs and gobs of vintage doll clothes, baby clothes. Is that a shirt or a bonnet? That looks like a dress. A petticoat, is that what they would call that? I don't know. No, it's a bonnet. Shoot, who knows? Somebody had a price of $30 on this. What is this? Is that DNKE? Junior wear. Maybe it's Duke junior wear. Little red jacket. Ain't that just adorable? So you're moving into a location. Oh, look at this. Now this is awesome. It is. The thing that threw me off on the bonnet was it has a button. I don't know if you can see that. This is why I thought it was a bonnet, along with the fringe on the top. But I didn't really know what the button here was, and I don't know if I can see that or not. There's always that delay. Looks like some little hand crocheted pieces. So I'm going to call this children wear and doll clothes. I really like this. There's value right here in this old quilt. It's got little cowboys and Indians on it. This is a handmade job here. But so that I will definitely put up in the forefront. And someone's just going to have to want this. It's a huge box. What is that? It's a headless doll. She didn't make it, folks. She didn't make it. Oh, yeah. We are... He's supposed to be drawing up the contract right now. And like I said, it's going to be quite the undertaking just for the fact that we're adding on business to what we are now. You know, now it's not just going to be getting the auction ready each week, but we're going to have to deal with renting out those storage units. The other upside is leather doll bullwhip. What? I mean, there's just all kinds of cool stuff in here. It sure is. So we're adding on the storage rental business. The other upside is that I have I'll have another shop in the back that I can actually save some money from removing. We rent storage units right now, or a storage unit to help carry some of our inventory. But okay, I think I've spread that out enough. I'm sitting here talking. Hey Glenn, how you doing? Rod the ice cream man, yes. Not this time of year. I better see what time it is. Oh, I got another hour before I have to head home. I'm supposed to be home at 6 for dinner. But we'll put this under vintage. We're going to use the word vintage in our title. Vintage doll. And we'll put children's clothes. Because there are a few. And the conditions vary. Some of it's in okay condition. Some of it's rough. Children's clothes. When I talk, it's going to be all over the place. I'll try to look at the chat. Barbie been a bad girl with the whip. Keep Ken in line with that thing. Hey, I don't judge. There's even a small handmade vintage quilt thrown in. That's just going to cost somebody just to have to absolutely have that. Okay, snapshot. We're going to take a big picture. I'm going to take some close-ups of the whip. I never knew such a thing existed. Somebody must have handmade that. But let's do the headless doll. I have one lot on my current catalog. It's a bird cage, and in the bottom of it there's a bird. It's one of those little mechanical birds, but it doesn't work because somebody left the batteries in it for too long. So it probably just needs to be cleaned out and redid. But so it's just laying at the bottom of the cage. So the actual title of the listing is Bird Cage, asterisk, asterisk, the bird is dead. And I just left it at that. Of course, in the description I did put, okay, I did try to get the bird to work, but it wasn't successful. Somebody left the batteries in too long, blah, blah. I try to mix in a little bit of humor in our listing occasionally. Probably the funniest thing is the spelling errors that happen. You know I should be working on quality a little bit more, but it happens, and it happens a lot when you're doing that many listings. It's inevitable. Most of my buyers just chuckle about it. They know what I'm trying to say, and they just razz me about it when they come in to pick up or when they see me the next time. I'm just taking some various pictures of this just to give people better. It's such a big pile of stuff that it's going to be hard to depict everything totally. We'll throw all those in there. I can't spend too much time on it. Like I said, there's that diamond in the rough that somebody's going to find, and they're like, man, I saw just the corner, that half-inch corner in that one picture, and nobody else saw it, and I got such a good deal on it. That's what got me hooked on auctions. Is that element of surprise, or seeing something that you're pretty sure nobody else saw, and then you get it for a lot better deal than you probably should have. You're stealing it. That's what I tell people. You're stealing those things from me. Okay, and then we'll get the lot number. So basically, when you see me disappear, I've got piles of stuff out here that need to be pictured, and I have to take this stuff and go put it on the shelf. So you'll see me go back and forth. I pretty much take photos. I do the descriptions, do the title, give it a lot number, take the photos, put a number on it, and take it out, put it on the floor, and bring something else in. So these last couple items I just took, I'm taking out to the floor. We're moving over to consigners now, just so I can get some of the stuff up off the floor. I actually took you gotta test out everything, right? Those are freaking awesome. Who doesn't love a good Jack in the Box? Actually, one more time, because I should have took the... Okay. Is there a date on these? More fun from Shilling Toys. I don't know what the air. Do they still make? Well, it is that's a 2008, and this is 2007. So they're not. They look a lot older than they actually are. Been run through the ringer a little bit, and one's a little bit more faded than the other. We'll pull those up just a little bit so that you guys can get a good look at them. Any of you guys absolutely hate clowns out there? We're going to put these into toys. $4.40. Auction is a great place to also buy white elephant gifts. My little plug. Keep in mind that when we do ship here at Bid More to Win, where all bids start at $2, and we try to find the best rates in shipping. Whether using pirateship.com to get our best quotes. Was actually, let's go there for a minute. Right now, Pirate Ship isn't as good as it used to be because of the way the USPS changed their rates. But what I did find, I heard this on Lonnie's channel over at Garage Flips, which was pointed out by a viewer. When did you start an auction company? We started in January, Glenn. Where the heck you been? You been stuck out in the swamp? See what I did there? Anyway, something that's been very useful with a lot of my larger packages is utilizing UPS through PayPal. Their shipment interface I've found that I've been able to save my customers quite a bit of money that buy larger items by using UPS through PayPal. I hated using UPS before, and they may have changed since I had tried doing it, but they the interface between UPS and PayPal was just I hated having to go out of the system to print your shipping labels. Like I said, they may have changed it since then, but I through our auction house, I do a lot through. All my shipment goes through um, Pirate Ship and PayPal, whichever one I can get the best rates. Now, right now, I have been doing all the shipment without any charge to my buyers at all. We are bouncing around the idea of charging a service fee to help pay the time involved with shipping. I it takes me a good day to take care of all the shipments. But right now, I'm passing all the savings onto our buyers and not charging anything for time. So it's become when I'm shipping a $2 item, I'm that $2 is really, and that's assuming that it's something that I source. If they only pay $2 for it, you figure that's me making $10 an hour. I mean, granted, there's a lot more money to be made in the higher price items that we push through, but just to kind of put it in perspective, and then when I end up shipping it for no charge at all, I really just have to rethink after the first of the year how I do things. I'm giving stuff away, man. It's all those little things that, when you first say, I'm going to go into business for myself, it's all the little things that you don't necessarily think about. I try to run as honest of a business as I possibly can. I think that that's going to pay off in the long run. I've already started seeing that I am taking some of my competition's bidders and consigners, just because they've grown to the size that you start losing. One thing you do when you start hiring a lot of employees, especially, well, it may just be everywhere, but nobody is as invested in is vested in your business as much as you are. So the only person the person that cares most about it is you. Um, so they lose some of that personal touch when you start expanding and growing to a certain point. Uh, just when you think you are done with sports cards, folks, I run sports cards every week. And I've talked to some of my buyers. Sorry, you're going to look at my butt for a minute. I've talked to some of my buyers, and they actually say they find some stuff in some of them. Oh, you know what, Don? I think we relisted those on the next auction. Let me see if I can. I just, the reason they're fresh in my mind was because we did all our relists from the last page. They won't be on for another till next Friday. Now that you say that, and you made me a liar. When I stopped working the corporate world, I decided I wasn't going to think any longer. I remember these years. These are 80s, right? No, 1990, almost. It looks like there's some older ones in here, though. These would have been the era that I was buying a lot more sports cards in. I used to collect a lot. Take ownership of company that they work for. Yes. And it's sad. I mean, okay, here's the thing. One of the problems is we thought, well, we just need somebody to take pictures. Thought we might be able to get some high school kids or something that would start out at $10 an hour. We were a right to work state. Our minimum wage. I don't even think I remember what it is off the top of my head. But we thought, McDonald's was hiring at 10. Our work is a lot funner and a lot easier than flipping burgers all day. And we just couldn't find anybody that would want to show up to work. I mean, that's literally what it got down to is, I don't care what you do. I just want you to show up. I mean, that's how bad it was. Liar, liar, pants on, that's me. I'm going to say 80s and 90s. There might be some older ones in here. I don't know. No, these all look like mid 80s and early 90s. Yeah, 90s. 1990. There's the cat. Hey, babe. Pretty good. I'm working on consigner and I'm live streaming. I told everybody my live streams were a lot more exciting when you were here working. Right. It was a lot more entertaining for those 3 people that we had watching our live stream. Right. She's watching the live stream. She's looking for your die cuts. The die cut, the Christmas die cuts that we put on the next auction that I said was on this auction. You gonna say hi to her?
Hi to her.
You can say hi to her now. I got you on speaker.
Hi, Dawn.
She said hi. So she said she called me a liar because I told her they were on this week, and I did lie. I told her they were going to be on next. So I'm going to take you back off speaker. So, what's that? I'm still on target. Okay, I'm going to put you back on speaker so I can work.
What am I called Dad?
Hey, I'm putting you on speaker just so I can still work while you're talking.
Okay. I got a few lots done.
Awesome.
I was just calling to check in and see how you were doing and stuff like that.
I'm still on target to come home at 6.
Okay.
Is that what time you wanted? That's what time you told me to be home.
I did. I am just getting ready to start dinner and stuff. I've been doing laundry all day. I've got a few things listed, and Izzy's been finishing up all of her stuff. She has all of her homework done. She wants to watch Elf tonight.
Elf, yay!
I don't know if we have that movie, though, so we might have to rent it.
We should have it somewhere, but...
That's what I'm saying. We have it, but who knows where the hell it is.
So... Okay, well, I will still plan on being there at 6.
Okay. Sounds good. Love you. Bye, Dawn.
She said, what up? And then she'll probably say goodbye as soon as you hang up. Because there's a delay, and she won't know you're already gone.
Love you, hon. Bye.
Love you too. Bye. See that I told her you would be gone. She would be gone by the time you caught on that she already left. She don't mind. She don't mind if I internet cheat. We have an open relationship with my live streams like that. You can be my second wife that razzes me all the time when she's not here, because you know how much she likes to give me shit whenever when she's in the chat. Okay, 33. Let's see what other mess can we get into here. Oh, I don't know about this. One of the things I have to worry about is when I get to the point where I have stuff that I don't think it'll bring the $2 bid. I'm going to go see what else that she has in her pile. I'm going to put this on the shelf. I'll be right back. You know what? I'm probably going to fill my coffee cup too. If you're wondering what's so pressing, I have to go home and make fried rice tonight. More on that. Okay, so as many of you may know, I am an Air Force vet, and while I was in the Air Force, I was a cook. Well, I would say about half my time I was a cook, and the other time I worked at the rec hall. That's what I mainly did when I was deployed as well. I worked rec. Our unit handled. We did lodging. So basically, when troops are out and about, when they're deployed, it was our unit's responsibility to maintain where they were, do bed assignment, cot assignments when needed. We handled the food, we handled recreation, and we did mortuary affairs. And basically, I think the idea was we were the only ones that had access to coolers when I was in cooked some burgers for my tea earlier and set the smoke alarm off. That's not good, PCP. No bueno. So anyway, I still have to. Cooking, I still enjoy doing it. I don't do it a lot, just for lack of time. But she lets me take care of making a lot of stuff that she doesn't. She loves my fried rice, so that's what I'm making tonight. She's doing the rest of the meal, and I have to go home at 6 to make the fried rice. Kat is Dawn's shit-talking soul sister. 5. Let's see. 3 Raggedy Ants. No, they're all. I think that's a Raggedy Andy. Dang it. That looks like a Raggedy Ann. She's got an apron. She's got like a dress. This one's naked. I was going to put Raggedy Ann and Andy Lot. Raggedy. So that's why it's important that I make it home at 6. So I have a little bit longer that I can live stream. I really enjoyed jumping on doing YouTube. I enjoyed it more when I was able to do mobile, but because I could, take my phone out when I'm emptying out the truck and go through a haul, or set the stuff out when I'm carrying it into the shop. But now that I'm tethered to a PC to do live streams, it just makes it makes it not simple at all. So I'm going to try to figure out how to set up my security camera so I can start, when I go out, switch over cameras so you guys can actually see the shop. But, it's, again, it'll probably be when I'm able to hire an employee, and so I can do all the extra stuff. 2 foot, we're going to say 34 to 20. Why don't I just quit being lazy and lift that dang thing up and then rearrange? 24 to 36. Okay, let's put them all back together. 24 by 36. 24-inch to 36. So basically, when I get on live, you're seeing what I'm putting on the catalog. Don, go potty. You know, they eat everything with their tea over there. So I kind of showed you what I put on the catalog. You're watching me through the process, and getting bored out of your freaking minds on top of it. Let's see here. I have times 5. Someone's going to get a heck of a deal on some Raggedy Ann and Andy's right there on her forehead. Hey, don't give me crap about my dolls. I have a history with dolls on eBay. So I have been selling on eBay for a few years, and I've been on YouTube for a couple as well. And in that time, I have sold quite a few dolls. Die! It is. Okay, what is it? What is it? For real? He did not like that. Okay, what is he? I think he's a for real. 2003 Hasbro. Was that when for reals came out? He needs a good brushing. 250. Have you guys ever used the photo search on eBay? I'm going to go look at my. Come on, Russell. I have to say I've been doing okay in fantasy football, and if you watch all the other YouTubers, I am in the league with like Lonnie and John and Kevin, and there's a whole slew of us in there. But I shot up all the way to 4th place, and this week I'm getting killed by Dwayne Mothership Products. Right now it's reading me at having a 1% chance of winning. I can show you his face, or lack thereof. Okay, let's comb his hair back. But right now I have a 1% chance of winning. And I've only got one player left. And I have my defense. I have Seattle defense, and I have Russell Wilson quarterback. And I'm hoping that there's a miracle. And currently I need 90. No, let's see, 56, 66. Let's just say 70 points to pull off, and I've only got 2 players on the field, so it's not looking good for me. So anyway, I was talking, if you ever I use this for a lot of glass patterns and stuff. Oh, what did I get? Oh, I got oh, come on, an offer of $20. No, no good. I've got this thing starting at auction for 30. I'm just gonna. I would rather it go at auction starting at 30 than to take. I'm just gonna sit on it and see if I get a new bid. That's what I want to do. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I have. Let's see what happens. Have Cat pick your football team next time. I've been doing okay. I just got a $20 bid on that. I mean, not bid, an offer. I have it starting at $30 auction. I want to see how that. Oh, I could have showed it more. I don't know where because of the delay. I did sell my poodle plaque. I paid $1 for it at auction. Let me make sure it's not. I sold it for $35. That's going out tomorrow, and I'm hoping that. And then I took an offer of $35 for this bamboo serving tray. That was in a table lot. I was talking about buying it at auction. That was that was a table in buy. So I paid maybe, $10, $12 for an entire table, and that was part of it. I think that was the same table that a lot of my cards came. Here's that Villeroy and Bosch China Acapulco pattern. This is the one I was telling you. I sold these 4 plates. I took an offer, or no, they accepted my offer of $85. I sold, just to kind of give you an idea, that particular pattern. I paid $55 for the whole lot. And so I sold those 4 plates, salad plates for $85 plus shipping. And then I sold together. This person bought there was 4 bowls and 4 cup and saucer sets. Oops, okay, 4 cup and saucer sets. That entire order came. I paid for shipping on that, and it was $95 sale, shipping included. And then I also sold for $85 total, including shipping. I sold this platter, same pattern, and let me zoom up before this pitcher, same pattern. And then on top of that, I've been loving glass just because I sold the 4 dinner plates out of that same pattern for $99 plus shipping. So glass plates, and I think it all falls because it falls in that whole mid-century modern motif. Does really well. Offered $28 on a 58 decanter to see what would happen, and they accepted my offer. I feel like a scuzzle bucket now. I just purchased myself a soul off of your eBay, Rod. You purchased a soul? What does that mean? Was that you? You're so funny. What was it? So that's what I've been selling on eBay. Let me get back to putting this. I want to say it is a for real dog. I'm gonna use my camera. Let's see if what the camera comes back with. Camera search on eBay. Taking a picture of what I believe to be a for real dog. It came back as Lhasa Apso Shih Tzu plush lifelike cuddly. Yeah, it didn't come back with any of what I thought it was going to come back. Is it a Lhasa Apso? Lhasa Apso for real dog. I sure thought it was a Shih Tzu. And it doesn't understand. For real. God, somebody help me out here. Hey, you didn't tell me you wanted the poodle plaque. I thought you only liked the spaghetti poodles. Now I feel terrible. I've had that thing on the store forever. I shouldn't have even showed you. I don't mind if it's been sitting in my store long enough. I take offers. I would rather give. Bought one from your store. It's oh. Yeah. Make an offer if you see something on there you like that I haven't already set aside. Make an offer. Most of that stuff, if it's been sitting there for, a month or two, it needs to go. Dang, I don't know which one this is. For real, 2003 Hasbro. I know it's a for real. My kids had them. 2003 Hasbro. I think that's it. Go My Puppy. Yeah, that's the same one. Walking Maltese. I'm going to go with for real Maltese. Walking Maltese. Okay. No, I have a wall space. I'm a joker. I have about, let's call it 10 minutes that I have left. I could probably do this and one more, and then I'm going to have to leave. Drop my stream just because I have to go make fried rice. Toys, 440. I was looking for my catalog sort order. So I can make sure that this goes in the right spot. So anyway, quick plug, our auction site is bidmore2win.com. Everything starts at $2, home of the $2 start bid. And we do ship. We try to find the best rates on shipping, whether it be USPS, FedEx or UPS, and we pass those savings currently on to you. Make sure when you are buying that you do keep in mind, if you're not in the area and able to pick items up, that there will be shipping calculated after the fact. And we typically have packages shipped out the Monday following the auction. So we do not have the best handling time, but that's just because it's my wife and I that do it. And yes, it was a cool plaque. It's one of those things. Okay, here's the thing. That wall plaque nobody else wanted. I have another item over here. Another for instance. Just to give you all an idea of stuff that you can buy at auction. If I cannot break any glass. That plaque I paid $1 for, nobody wanted. And I also, let me take pictures of this. I have this jacket that I'm going to show you. He really needs to be brushed out. Poor dog. I have to do my work first. Okay. Okay. It was very, it was kind of a joke because the auctioneer even put it on. He's a smaller guy. But this is a Lily Ann knit jacket. It's leopard print. Do I know anything about clothes? I'm going to sound like I know a lot more about clothes than I actually do. I mean, it does need a little bit of cleaning. I'm probably going to go ahead and do that cleaning if I don't sell it this week. But I know I put it on for $100 starting bid on auction. Overall, it's in great condition. Like I said, along the edges, it does need some cleaning, but overall, it's a great piece. It's a long coat, probably from the 60s, I'm guessing. But it's stuff like this people don't buy at auction because most of the people that are showing up for auction aren't going to be, well, depending on your area, they're not going to be resellers. And your average everyday Joe isn't going to pick items like that up because they don't see they're it's like, I'm not going to wear that. I don't know anybody that's going to wear that. So it typically doesn't sell for much. So it's things like that, thinking outside of the box, and not just buying things just because people tell you that's what's hot at the moment. Typically, when you hear those things that are hot at the moment, the market is going to be a little bit more saturated. I try to find one-offs and just different stuff. Right now, I've got quite a few cookie jars on my store. I've been really trying to work hard at getting learning more about the whole mid-century modern unit movement that everybody seems to be buying, and just learning. I don't even do anything on Etsy anymore. Somebody else told me through eBay messaging that they wanted me to put something over on Mercari and sell it to them there because the shipping's going to be cheaper. I don't buy into the fads. I think Mercari is one of those things that's a fad, just like Poshmark was a year ago. Everybody was jumping on the Poshmark bandwagon. I'm not knocking people that sell on Poshmark. It just wasn't that golden ticket that everybody thought it was going to be a year ago. And then when they started making policy changes, a lot of people ended up going right back to eBay. That's my belief anyway. That's what I've seen. Whether it's right or wrong, whether it's whatever. That's just, everybody's entitled to an opinion, man. But anyway, I've stuck with eBay just because it fits my lifestyle. It fits the way that I do business with everything else, and it's not as bad as everyone says it is. Uh, anyway, with that being said, I have to go home and make some fried rice. It is 5:49. I'm about 8 minutes from the house. I still have to turn out all the lights. Thanks for those of you that stuck it through. Thanks for hanging out with me. I enjoyed it as always, and maybe I'll come back on tomorrow. We'll see y'all later. Peace out. If I can figure out how to get to the stop